Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to your brand new video over on PrizePicks. I got 4 plays for you in the NBA and in soccer because we got Eastern Conference Finals starting today, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. But first up, do me a huge favor, drop a like on this one. Takes you 2 seconds, completely free. Go ahead and do that. Let's try to get to 10 likes in this video. And now let's talk about the recap. This is one thing you'll see me doing on this channel every single day that you won't see many other YouTubers doing, and that's showing their wins, showing their losses. And yesterday, unfortunately, on the YouTube slip, we did take a loss right here because it was a 2 overtime game. Jalen Williams actually had a pretty decent game here, and he went on the over. Everything else was perfect. The soccer correlation was perfect. We said these guys would have low possession, and they both went under, and it wasn't even close. Super sweat-free. We're going to take 2 more soccer picks today. Watch out for that. And then the only thing that happened here was that it was a 2 overtime game, and basically all the overs hit. So if you had any unders, you were cooked yesterday. It is what it is, though. We're going to move on to what happened over here. AJ Mitchell did not cash, I'm pretty sure. But the game is still live as I'm recording this. It doesn't look like he's going to get many minutes down the stretch. And then on the VIP, it's kind of weird. We had 5 slips. 4 of them actually did end up losing, but there's one that is half cashed and still alive. So if this one does end up, cashing for us, which I would say it probably got at this point like a 40% chance of cashing, we would be up around 4 units on the day. But if it doesn't cash, we're going to be down 5 units on the day. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, like, the correlation was perfect. We're taking 2 guys. What we're doing is correlation, if you guys don't know. We take 2 guys on the same team over together or under together, and that cashed, right? 2 guys on the same team over together, they cashed. 2 guys on the same team over together, they cashed. Here we took the unders, unfortunately, they hit the overs. Here we took the overs, unfortunately, they hit the unders, right? Here was the only example where the 2 players on the same team actually went in opposite directions, but everything else was perfect correlation. This was 2 guys on the same team. We had them going over. They unfortunately went under. That was bad correlation, or that was perfect correlation, but we had the wrong read. Here we had 2 guys on the over. They both went on the over. Good read, good correlation. Here we had 2 guys going on the over. They went on the under, but they went on the under together, meaning that it was a great correlation, but a bad read on my part. At the end of the day, hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't make any sense, guys, drop a comment down below. I really do want to help you guys make money on this, help you guys understand these strategies. But we got plays to talk about for today, so we're going to hop right into it. First up, make sure you guys are getting on the VIP. And I'm not just saying this so you guys can pay me money. I want you guys to get on the VIP for free. And the way you guys can do that is by signing up on Chalkboard or on Underdog using code BAM. So all you got to do is sign up on Chalkboard or sign up on Underdog using code BAM, and then text me a screenshot right over here. It's super simple. Just sign up on Chalkboard or on Underdog using code BAM, and then you guys can get a free month of VIP. And guys, these apps want your business. Underdog is giving you a $50 for free bonus offer when you play your first $5, and it's available in all of these yellow states right here. And they also have this, which is probably the best news in sports betting in the last, 3 years. They are increasing the payouts. So now a 3x, which was usually what they paid for a 2-man, is now 3.5x, and a 6x, which is usually what they paid for a 3-man, is now a 6.5x. This makes a huge difference. I'm not going to get into the math, but it's actually massive. People who are on Underdog right now are printing. In fact, one of my clients just sent me this screenshot the other day where he is printing a ridiculous amount of money. He started on, I believe it was $200. He started with $200 just on Underdog Fantasy alone, and he's profited $400. This was in the last week. And the reason this is, I told him only take 2-mans because 2-mans are ridiculously profitable. He signed up on Underdog. He used code BAM. He got on the VIP for free. He got actually one-on-one mentorship with me, and he started printing money. If you guys want to do that, if you guys want to go from $200 in your account to profiting $400 in a week, all you got to do is follow what my man over here did. You guys sign up on Underdog or Chalkboard using code BAM. Text me a screenshot to this number right here, 919-307-1980. I'll get right back to you. And then once you use code BAM, we'll get you on the VIP for free, and we'll get you printing money from there. Now, let's head over to PrizePicks. Well, I was about to say PrizePicks. Let's over to the Discord. I got to make sure you guys are all knowing that we have a Discord, guys. Like, we started this 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure everybody knows yet. Make sure you guys are locking on the Discord. I drop plays in here every single day. Make sure you're in there. Now, let's get into the plays for today. We're going to start off with passing attempted in soccer, and this is a strategy that we've used, I think, in the last 3 months now to pretty good success. In the last month especially, it's taken off a ridiculous amount, but the passes attempted strategy is very simple. What we're taking is 2 players on the same team in soccer on the over together on passes or on the under together on passes. And why are we doing this, guys? Why would it be a good idea to take 2 guys? These are the 2 guys we're taking, by the way, Mickey and Rodrigo. Why are we taking 2 guys on the over instead of 1 guy on the over and 1 guy on the under? Well, it's very, very simple. These guys are playing on the same team. These guys are playing in the exact same match. And what happens when you have a lot of possession in soccer? Everybody on the team is going to get a lot of passes. Possession means you have the ball, right? It's the same thing in soccer, same thing in any sport. And even if you guys don't know soccer, I'm sure you've watched at least one soccer game in your entire lives. It is, at the end of the day, the most popular sport in the world. What happens is they pass the ball around the back a lot. They pass the ball in the midfield. They just keep passing it, knocking it around. And the other team's kind of on the back foot waiting, try not to make any holes in their defense, right? This is how soccer works at the highest level. You don't just run down the field and try to solo your way through, the other 10 defenders and score against the goalie. That's not the way you do it, right? You pass the ball around at the back a ton, in the midfield a ton. So what does this mean? This means we can bet on passes attempted, basically just passes, right? And when two players are on the same team, if that team has a lot of possession, if that team controls the ball for almost all of the 90 plus minutes that they have in the game, that means that a lot of the players on that team is going to get more passes, meaning they're all going to hit their overs together. And the same thing happens here. When there's less possession, everybody on the team is going to get fewer passes. And as a result, they're likely going to go on the unders. It's not a 100% guarantee, but it's likely. And this is exactly what we hit yesterday with this YouTube play right here. Let me see if I can find it. We took Saliba and we took Gabriel on the under on their passes attempted. And this smacked because both of these guys had a decent possession, but it was not a ridiculous amount of possession, meaning they had less possession than expected. And both of them went on the under on their passes attempted in this game up against Burnley just yesterday on Monday. We're going to run the exact same thing with Spurs against Chelsea today. And I was going to say tonight, but this is actually in the afternoon. We're taking Mickey Van de Ven and we're taking Rodrigo Bentancur on the over on their passes attempted. Why are we doing this? So Chelsea's expected to have a little bit more possession, but I believe it'll be more like 50-50. That's what my projections are coming out to be. And especially with this game, if we look at the Premier League table, the Spurs absolutely need this one to stay out of the relegation battle. They have one match in hand, and if they drop down to these bottom three spots, you're toast. You're going into the second division or the championship division. So they absolutely need to win this game, or at least salvage a draw would be huge for them to stay out of, the grasp of West Ham when it's going into this last match. So this is super big for Spurs, and I expect them to be 100% dominating in this game, especially being more aggressive than they usually are. I'm not going to get too much into it because I know you guys don't really care too much about soccer. You're here for the NBA. But the point is, we're taking two guys on the over together because we're taking one thing. This is crucial. We're not betting on two different things. We're not betting on two different players. We're betting on one thing. We're saying the Spurs are going to control the possession. I know it's confusing. Spurs is actually Tottenham Hotspur, not San Antonio Spurs. But the Spurs are actually going to control the possession in this game, or at least control a decent amount of possession. If that one thing happens, not two different things, if that one thing happens, then we cash both Mickey and Rodrigo. Both of them cash because we need one thing. So we're turning a two-man, something that's much more unreliable, into a one-pick straight pick. Basically, we're just saying the Spurs will have possession, and then we cash it out, right? On the VIP, we do this exact same thing with esports, several different esports, and we pair it up as a duo, meaning that it's going to be a four-man. But we're going to get into that later. Right now, we got to talk about the NBA, and we're starting it off very, very strong right here with rebounding. We're going to go over to Max Strus on the over at 4 rebounds. He's not the most flashy player on the court by any means, but he is one of the biggest hustle players I have ever seen. And in this case, we're taking him on the over. He has hit the over at a decent rate in his last 5. Obviously, the last 5 is not the end all be all. The most important thing is that Max Strus is getting more and more minutes as this series continues, as these playoffs continue. Max Strus has gotten a lot of minutes towards the back half of that Pistons series. He actually was a starter in that last game. And even though he only got 3 rebounds in that last one, it was mostly because that game was an absolute blowout. But I expect this one to be significantly closer than that game 7 was a couple nights ago. And I expect Max Strus to get a lot of minutes, which will lead to a lot of rebounds and a lot of opportunities for him as a hustle player to absolutely go after that ball and get it at least 4 times off the glass today. That's why we like Max Strus. Now, before I get into play number 4, do me another favor, drop a like on this one. And if you appreciate any of the strategies we're talking into, the NBA picks we're talking into, any of this stuff, you just appreciate the vibe, hit that subscribe button. I don't miss a day. I get picks out here every single day for you guys. So make sure you guys are locked in over there. I don't see anybody else talking about strategies you can win on PrizePicks. I just hear them feeding you guys picks, saying yay when it cashes and hiding the losses when it loses. That's not what we do on this channel, guys. We show everything. Wins, losses, draws. We show it all. And I also show you guys the strategies, the exact reasons behind why I'm taking what I'm taking. Now let's get into play number 4 right here. We're actually going to go over to a personal play. This is not a math-based play like Struce was. Struce is a math-based play, I forgot to mention. He's like minus 135 on several other books right now, meaning we can get a very good value prop by just taking him on the over. But the next play is actually going to be Jalen Brunson here, and I'm fading Jalen Brunson at 27.5. This is a system play. This is a personal play. And the bottom line is he hasn't done well against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the past. He's hit the under in 5 out of the last 6 games, and straight up 27.5 has been a high line for Jalen Brunson all season long. He does hit in kind of patches here. He gets hot, and then he goes under for a few, and then he gets hot, and then he goes under for a few. In this playoffs, he's been more under than over, but it's been all over the place, quite honestly. I do like Jalen Brunson here on the under at 27.5. The bottom line is he could have an absolutely insane game. Go for 27 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, lead the Knicks to a 10-point victory, and still hit the under on this line. This line is just set a little bit too high for me. I do like Jalen Brunson here on the under, and that is going to be the final pick of the day. We got 2 soccer picks. We got 2 NBA picks. And before I get you guys out of here, please, for the love of God, do not click the flex play button. Please, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. The flex play button is one of the worst buttons you can click on all of PrizePicks when you're taking 4-mans or you're taking 3-mans. 5 and 6-mans are actually a little bit all right for flex, but you want to be taking the power play right here. This is such a good spot at the power play. Take it as a 10x. This is a lovely pick. We're taking 2 correlated picks. We're taking 2 NBA picks. And we got a game 1 of Eastern Conference Finals to look forward to. I appreciate you guys. And let's make some money.